there is so much truth in that. A man with many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just one or two friends.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Take Two podcast. My name is Izzy The Creator.
Hey guys, it's Deb Orah.
And I think we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to be talking about friendships today. So let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So here is my question to kick us off. Can a Christian or can a believer be friends with an unbeliever or a non-believer?
You know what? It's a great question. And I think on the surface, it seems quite simple, a simple question, but we actually really need to dig deeper into it and actually talk about it, especially in the context of like young people, but this applies for everyone.
Yeah.
But you know what? I pulled up some scriptures and I'm going to read it and then we're just going to go from there. So first one I pulled up was Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, which says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm.
Yeah.
Next one is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33, which says, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morale.
It does ruin good morale. But yeah, absolutely.
My English is failing me there. Psalms 1, verse 1 to 2, which says, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates.
It's all right, we keep going.
Day and
he
night.
meditates day and night. Yes, he does.
What is going on?
Meditate day and night. Absolutely. What's the next scripture you got?
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. It says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on today. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought I'd chuck that one in there.
That one was a slight dig at me from my childhood, I feel like. But anyway.
But yeah, I thought it was really important to just start off the podcast, the episode with these scriptures.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give us a foundation of like what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And you asked, what can non-believers be?
Yeah. So as a Christian, can I have friendship? Can I be friends with someone who doesn't believe? And I think that already in this society that we live in, you hear a lot of like, you know, we're called as Christians to love, we're called as Christians to accept everybody, we're called as Christians to embrace everyone. But I think what's going to be really interesting is differentiating embracing and loving and friendship. Because actually embracing and loving is part of friendship, but you don't have to be friends with someone to embrace and love them.
So I guess having said that, the question I would pose is like, what is real friendship? What would you define as a friend?
Yeah.
Because I think that's where there can be a lot of confusion in regards to, oh, this person's my friend, or someone I work with is my friend, or they're my friend, or whatever. What is a friend? And, you know, what does the Bible say about a friend? Or just based on your experiences, what is a friend? Because we need to kind of get that understanding and definition and then apply it to these scriptures. So what would you say?
Absolutely. I think from my experience and also biblically, friendship equals fellowship. Fellowship equals intimacy. So actually a friend is someone who you are intimate with on a soul level. You have that connection. They know your heart. They understand who you are. They know what you are struggling with. They can share and stand in on the things that you're going through. Look at Job, right? His friends, they weren't the best, but they were his friends. They knew what he was going through. They had that openness with him, you know.
But were they good friends?
They weren't good friends, but still friendship, you know, and that is important because you can have friendship with people that are absolutely, like you said, bad company ruins good morals. Yeah. So friendship doesn't mean it's always good, but in terms of how we talk about friendship today, there is that intimate level. I think there are two categories of people that you know, acquaintances versus friends. And friends, I think, are the people that are intimate with your heart. Like not on a physical sense, but they have that connection with you. So back to the question, can you have that intimate connection or actually, let me ask you, should you have that intimate connection with someone who does not believe in Jesus Christ and the biblical principles and the truth of his word? You know, and that even extends actually to different denominations. So what do you think on that sense? Do you agree with that time of friendship? Do you think?
I think what you said is good. I think what I'd add as well in terms of, I don't know if it's a selfish perspective, but in terms of like, there's always a two-way thing going with a friendship. So it's like, what can I offer? Knowing who you are in Christ, right? What can I offer as a representative of Christ, as someone that's representing Christ to this person? And what can they offer to me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we can have what I think defines a true friendship, especially within the Christian context. I don't think we can really have that mix, because in the sense of what I can offer to them and what they can offer to me, it would probably be one-sided. They probably have got the better bargain in terms of I can pray for my for my, you know, my guys that are, you know, non-believers and stuff like that. I can pray for them and this and that, but they can't do that for me. And this is what I was saying about the selfish perspective. I don't know if it's right to think like that, but
is that friendship then? Isn't that more evangelism in that sense? Like you standing and praying. But when I think of friendship, it is a two-way street, but there is also some level of transparency and equality in what you are receiving. Because for me, like, and actually let's think about our childhood, our teenage years as well. Yeah, absolutely. You might feel like you had those friendships, but was it actually true, meaningful friendship? Like, for example, like think about, there was a point in our childhood where, like, for example, you didn't really like having people around your house. Do you think that actually your friendship could have gone to a more in-depth level if they didn't know where you lived, if they didn't have that understand fully who you are? Isn't it just then surface? Like, you just know them from secondary school, you just know them from primary school, and you meet in a location. But I feel like friendship transcends different barriers and seasons and lifestyles.
Yeah, I think with that as well, though, I think there is different levels of friendship, because as you said, there were people that, I didn't tend to invite a lot of people to my house when I was younger. It was just a select few. I would have considered those my closer friends.
Yeah.
However, there were still people that I hanged around with at school and stuff that I also considered my friends. But even with the levels, I would say that you still got to be careful, because you might be like, okay, these are just my friends that I hang around with at school. They can still influence you a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you spend the majority of your day with them. So again, bad company ruins good morals. Yeah. Like, that can still be something that you need to reevaluate as a Christian in your walk with faith. Yeah. But as I said, you know, with people that maybe came to my house, there was a deeper level, which maybe they started to understand what I do, you know, where I go, how my home life is, and that adds another level, another kind of dimension to that friendship. So
I think even in terms of even in Christian friendships, there are different levels as well. I think where both of us serve and we head ministries and do a lot in the church, like, we've kind of briefly spoken about this, but I do feel like my friendships are at different levels in the church as well. Because when you are heading a ministry, when you are in a place of leadership, I think you've got to be really select as well with who knows the depths of your heart, like knows what you're struggling with and what you're going through as well. And I also found that, like, a lot of friendships that I was having, particularly in ministry, was very much more like you're encouraging, you're pouring out, you're almost mentoring, is that sort of friendship. And then you also have friendship with people that you look up to, that you're also being mentored from. So I think these are all different types of friendships as well, like levels within the church. But do you think this bad company ruins good morals also extends to Christian friendships?
Yeah, definitely. Before I kind of go into that, I liked what you said, but it also kind of made me question as well in terms of how do you navigate friendships in ministry? Because again, they could actually be people that you get along with and stuff, but is there a barrier, or is there like boundaries that you have to?
Absolutely.
Because when you're working together and you're doing things, sometimes you can be more chummy to one person than the other person, and that, I don't know, could potentially cause maybe, I don't know, something, or when there's something that needs to be said in terms of correction or a bit of
that
advice,
could be hard,
and because they think you're chummy and that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just makes me think, because again, these are just questions that
pop up
and I guess are reality to a lot of people, including ourselves. But back to what you were saying, it was just a side note, just to make us think, and for anyone that's watching as well, if you've got your thoughts on that and answers to that as well, I'd love to kind of hear what you have to say in regards to that. But yes, in terms of friendships within Christianity, or within a church space and environments and stuff like that, we also have to be very, very diligent and guard our hearts as well, because there's a lot of people from different backgrounds and different maybe thought processes, or even in their journey and walk with Christ. That, I mean, if you attach yourself to certain people, again, that could be something that could be potentially detrimental, or kind of make you slide a bit back. And I think it is important to kind of evaluate where these people are within their walk with, where they are with their walk with God, because that will help. You need someone that will be able to encourage, because there's still a lot of people that call themselves Christians and still do a madness outside, if it is clubbing or drinking or going to places that they probably shouldn't be going. You can get caught in that trap where but they're Christians, they go to church every Sunday, their parents go to church every Sunday, so surely it can't be that bad. You start to convince yourself, and your heart can be quite deceptive in that sense. And that can lead you in a path that will undo a lot of stuff that God is doing in your life.
I even extend 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14, where it says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. But I actually think this also, for me, extends to people that refer or identify themselves as believers as well. You cannot be unequally yoked with people. And I think for me, that makes me think, right, where am I in my walk with Christ? If you are genuinely trying to pursue Jesus, genuinely trying to pursue things of God, there is no way that, are we blurry? I feel like we're blurry, but it's okay. There is no way that, there we go, that you should be yoked with people that are not striving or seeking God. And I think actually, let's look at our lives as well. You grow up with people in the church, and actually your walk can be completely different with people in the church. But because they are Christians, because they're in the church, you become to be unequally yoked with your fellow believers if their lifestyle is not changing. If they do not want to pursue and change their lifestyle, then you actually, and the scripture then goes on and says, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness?
I think that reinforces what you were saying in terms of the believers, or people that call themselves believers in the church, because people, again, can call themselves believers or following Christ, but yet live a life of lawlessness, or live a life full of darkness.
That's why we've got to be so careful, even with the churches that we follow and the leaders that we follow and look up to. Just because they're popping and they're popular and or
they look good,
or they look good, or they all those things, or they have 100 and something followers, 1,000 followers. Stop looking at that, because if there is darkness.
I've got 100 and something thousand. What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying,
I dress in terms well too. I mean, no, but
you get what I mean. It's not just about the social media influence and how glitzy and glamoury things look. If there is darkness in the way that they're living, in the way that they're living their life, you should not be yoked. What does yoked mean?
I mean, what does it mean? I'm not the English. I'm not best
What was
with
it
my
deliberate?
English.
What was it he said earlier? Put in the comments
what
what the words he said earlier. I can't remember, but it was funny.
Morale and
Meditate.
Meditate.
Yeah. But what I think of, like, do not be unequally yoked. You always give those example of those like big cow animal things. And you know when they put the things on them to like, this is where
I think the simpler. I mean, we're taking it back to the ends, to Africa. But anyways, I think the better word to use for yoked is just attached.
Yeah.
Bound. Simple. Yeah, simple as that. Yeah. When you're attached to someone, literally, let's give it a go now. This is you're attachment.
Linked.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's saying, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So if they, if they want to go somewhere,
if they go that way, do you know what I mean?
No, but try and go that way. Obviously, I'm resisting, but at the end of it, I'm actually going to be following. And same for them as well.
That is so true.
Same for them, because we may be really interceding and tagging and all that, but they've got, like, in a sense, if you attach yourself, they've got like a legal right to resist sometimes. Yeah. So, and I think you have to understand this is what we're talking about in terms of real friendships. Yeah. Like intimacy, because again, I'm not saying that, there's going to be people that you get along with. There may be even people that you were, perhaps if you weren't a Christian for a while and you became, a believer in that, there's still people that you can, I think, pray for. Yeah, absolutely. Speak to, catch up with. Yeah. They can even ask for advice and you can give it to them. Yeah. But you need to kind of understand where things are in that kind of aspect and understand it, because again, talking about that two-way thing, you need people, friendships that you can share your thought. They can encourage you. They can pray for you as well. They can, really help you, elevate you to your walk with God. So, so there's that resistance. Being literally attached to someone, you need to kind of evaluate yourself as well and be like, okay, who am I attached to? I think sometimes just sitting back and be like, okay, who are the people that I speak to the most? Who do I actually...
It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable thing that we're saying here. At the end of the day, it is, we have to be careful as believers who we are calling our friends. Friendship is not based on how long you've known someone. Friendship is not based on whether you went to nursery school, grew up. That actually doesn't matter. Psalms 1, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked. Let's switch it over. Our pastor loves to do this. Cursed is the man who walks in the counsel of the wicked. Cursed is the man who stands in the way of sinners. Cursed is the man who sits in the seat of scoffers. But this is what the Bible is saying. It's saying blessed is, and then it gives you things that lists it. So what's the opposite of blessed? Cursed. We have to, you can't just walk in the way or in the counsel of the wicked or stand in the seat of sinners because you've grown up with them and because you are too worried about what they might feel and think about about who you are. And I really like, actually, when we look at our lives, we've got friendships of people who we've grown, known, and maybe they're not at the walk that we are in. Maybe they don't even believe in God. But if they can reject you, or if your friends can reject you because you're pursuing God, then that already tells me there's something wrong here. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone doesn't want to build friendship with you because you don't want to sit in the seat of scoffers or people that mock God, then that isn't the environment, that isn't the friendship that you should be having, really and truly.
And I guess, it is a tough one. I think as you get older as well, as you grow and you start to understand what friendship is and the value of friendship as well, you start to even realize that, again, and this is kind of going to the last scripture that we mentioned, a man of many companions may come to ruin. You start to understand, actually, I don't need so many. You start to limit the kind of people the amount of people that you perhaps hang around with. Absolutely. For some that may come naturally. For some that may be a thing where you need to evaluate and be like, okay, I need to maybe reduce.
Yeah. I think it's because actually, we ascribe acceptance to the number of friends we have. Do you remember those days when we had Bebo?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Bebo was horrible because remember you used to pick who your top friends are and you could like change them all the time. We literally, and even though like Bebo's finished and done with, we've got so many platforms that still arise, and almost acceptance equals to the amount of friends you have, whether online, whether in person, it doesn't really matter.
Even value, like even with the Instagram thing, some people, you know, may have hundreds of followers, thousands of followers. Some people may have like 10.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, or maybe get a few likes. And they're like, you know, they feel maybe they're not worth as much as the other person because they're not getting as much likes or followers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we live in a world right now where there's a lot of like, there's that validation that people are seeking.
Yeah.
The real validation it should be from God.
Exactly.
But
But
you know,
just even with that though, it's saying a man of many companions. So a man with many friends may come to ruin. And actually you'll find that a lot of the biblical truths and principles are, the world has like done the complete opposite.
Yeah.
The complete opposite, because there is so much truth in that. A man with many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just, one or two friends. Do you feel like you have friends right now, like as you've grown? Because I think as growing up, like, I would definitely say like you had a lot of friends. But I think now as you're married now, you've got a child and another one on the way. Like, do you feel like you have friends? And actually this will be a really good question. I'm sure there's some of Isaiah's followers wondering exactly this. Let's use you as an example. You've got so many followers on there. Like people engage with you, want to know you. But would you actually say that you have many friends?
You know what? It's an interesting question that you actually asked, because that was something, I guess I'm digressing a little bit from but I just wanted to share it anyway. With the amount of kind of followers that I gained in such a short period of time, you get a lot of messages and stuff like that, and
a lot of support,
and a lot of support, and it was, you know, it was really encouraging to see. However, I tried to keep up with that, to like message people back and stuff, really, and you meet some really, really cool people. However, it just wasn't easy to manage. It wasn't easy to manage. But for me, I don't even know where I was going with this. For me, it was just, I think I've always kind of been that way in terms of I do like speaking with a lot of people, and that's why I kind of
getting to know people.
I think that's why I kind of like shake my head in terms of having many friends. I saw it as I just wanted to get to know people, but I do feel like now, with having a lot of followers and stuff, and even with whatever's going on, I still feel like I have a small, tight-knit group of friends. And I think that would just always be the case, to be honest. I just think with everything that's going on, like, it's just, life is so busy. I just can't, and you know, I think that's where that scripture comes in as well, like, and what does it even mean to come to ruin?
I was literally gonna say that. I think the come to ruin was very real for me, particularly like in my preteen, teenage years, and actually also in university, because what I think from this, a man of many companions may come to ruin. Do you know how much gossip and issues can come from having so many people around you and knowing you and knowing your heart? Like, and I actually think this is where my idea of friendship began to change as I grew, because you guys know, like, when I was a teenager, I loved having friends. I loved being around people. I loved, like, just, you know, and that also came with drama as well. But I really enjoyed that.
You probably, would you say you overshared as well?
Yes, so absolutely.
When I say overshare, it's not like had a big mouth, but I think in terms of, as you said,
overshare.
I mean, you shared, but just to the wrong people, not having that understanding of what.
Because I think I was too trusting, and I don't think that's a bad thing. This is not going to become a bitter, podcast. But I think you have to guard your heart. That is also, again, a biblical principle. I didn't need to share all of my heart's things. And
because some people, this is what it's talking about being unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Because you need a real friend will be able to have that understanding and wisdom when you share something with them. They'll have that maturity and understanding, knowing how you guys are, to not having, you don't have to share it with someone else. Gossip, because sometimes when someone tells you something and maybe they don't have the best intentions, or maybe they have good intentions, but sometimes they just have an issue with just did you know, they could even wrap it in a way of like, that's
concern.
I'm really concerned about this person.
That's what girls love to.
All of them. Everyone does it. But yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Like even that thing, like it's tough, it's tough. And I think maybe you learned that maybe the tough way, the hard way. I don't think I had it as bad in terms of, as I said, I like to speak to people and stuff, but I feel like guys in
general tend to not really.
That's also true.
Share. And I think that's where you've got to have that wisdom, because
that's
to
a
be
good
honest,
and a bad thing. It's a good and a bad thing. When it becomes later on in life where maybe you're having mental health issues, or you're struggling with anxiety or stress. Now,
and you struggle to share.
That's when it now becomes a negative kind of thing. An aspect of that becomes negative. When you're younger, maybe it just helped you kind of guard your heart in a sense. But again, it's the balance.
It is the balance. But I think it is true. I think as well, like, look at celebrities. They're always in the news. They're always in like media drama. But then there's always those celebrities that are like really to themselves, and you never catch them in anything. I think it applies again. A man of many companions may come to ruin. So it is true. Like, we don't, like, the amount of friends that you have, the amount of people that you follow, the amount of people that you are surrounded in doesn't always mean it's good. Ask God for wisdom. I think, just as we just wrap up, ask God for wisdom when it comes to friendship. Friendships has seasons as well. So it might just be that season has changed. It's time to, I actually think we could do another episode, maybe in a few episodes' time, and just talking about it a bit more. Even in regards to how to perhaps navigate friendships when you are married, or a separate segment talking about. That's good.
Or a separate segment where we're talking about, as you said, how to navigate friendships in ministry. Those two could be separate things in itself, and I think it's a bit more niche and a bit more focused. So that's really good. Marriage and ministry. And we're only going to talk about. I think we're only going to talk about things that we kind of have gone through and experienced, and just to edify, just to encourage, and to also spark conversation. 100%. But I do feel like your mic sounds way better than mine, and we've got exactly the same mic. We have got exactly the same mic. Does yours? Do you think you sound better right now? No. Do I sound quite good? You sound like me. I don't know. Maybe it's my. But you said, we sound good. But I think we'll wrap it up for today. But let us know in the comments as well. Do you want us to talk about friendships in certain particular things? Maybe something we've even missed as well. Can you be friends as siblings? Oh my, that's a great topic. Maybe we should get all of the siblings together. That's a great topic. Can siblings be friends, like actual friends? And it seems like, again, a simple question, but I mean, you can unwrap that and kind of have that discussion. But absolutely. For sure, I think it would be nice to have other people on that one. And see what we can do. But guys, it's honestly, thank you so much. If you've reached to the end of this video, let us know if you was able to watch or listen to it throughout. Share your thoughts, comment on the page, comment on the channel. And share it as well. If you feel like this is beneficial, just let us know as well. We're here to kind of encourage you, but it would be nice to get that two-way thing going. We want to be your friend. And for real, and honestly, just because of what we've said as well, don't let that be a deterrent for you not reaching out to us. Please do. We love that. Even when you were saying that, there's so many people that I talk to online that I don't know, like, who support my music, and you actually build, like, there's people I don't genuinely know, but I know them well, and I would actually vouch for them. Another topic: how to build or how to have friendships or navigate friendships where you have met them on social media, or can you have that? Because that's a big thing as well with the world of social media right now.
Absolutely.
There's access to everything. Like, how do you navigate that space in the right way as a Christian as well? Because as you said, you have made some good friends. I have too. I've made some great friends on socials, through socials. So I think it'll be quite interesting to have that conversation and see how we did it, the do's and don'ts and suggestions perhaps and recommendations. But guys, thank you so much. Until next time. See you later.
See ya.